Is there a question?
Although I know I had a colleague who used to chew on ice cubes when he felt a little bit swollen, like if he felt a bit tired.
Yeah.
And it's the same as if you're icing,
icing.
A swelling. If you're chewing on ice cubes and you're letting that cold water go down your esophagus, it's near to your larynx, so conceivably it could reduce swelling.
Probable. We have a lot of probables because this is all so new. Warm water is better for you than cold water. Another one that I'm sure we've all heard a number of times. Again, we are not sure. There's scientific facts on both sides of this arguments. One says that your body absorbs warm water or body temperature water faster than cold water. However, the other side says, but our bodies crave cold water. No one likes to drink warm water.
I do.
I do too. I do too. But there's a lot of people who swear that they can't drink warm water and they crave cold water. So these scientists are saying if your body craves it, then that's what is right for you. Mm-hmm. Okay? So it's on both sides. I don't think this is one that we could prove. I really don't.
But it does take more energy for your body to turn the cold water to body temperature.
In turn, dehydrating your body because you're using energy. However, we also know that people who drink cold water tend to drink more of it.
Really?
Yes, that was a scientific fact. I thought that was very interesting. Breathing cold air is bad for your vocal cords. We'd spoken about this one earlier, I think. Breathing cold air. Breathing cold air is dehydrating. It's the same way as in the winter when you get dry skin. It's because the air is dry. So cold air.
I was asking about this.
Yeah, cold air is usually dry air. So it can be dehydrating to whatever organ it comes in contact with, including our lungs and trachea. Some people also have cold-induced asthma, right? Some people have strong effects from breathing in cold air. When we breathe in air, it's warmed as it passes by the blood vessels in our trachea and our pharynx, and by the time it gets to our lungs, it is body temperature. When we breathe in cold air, when it's colder than normal, it doesn't have as much. It's the same amount of time to warm up more, right? So we're breathing in cooler than often air. Does that make sense? Kind of? Yes? So when it passes by our blood vessels, it gets warmed up and it's easier for our lungs to use. When we breathe in cold air, it doesn't have as much a chance to warm up to the temperature it needs to, and we end up breathing in cold air, which is harder for our lungs to process. So cold air.
So it would be harder to sing outside.
It is harder to sing. Yeah. So yes, breathing cold air is bad for your vocal cords. Proven. Yes. No? No question?
No question.
Yes.
I didn't think of this before, but does losing or gaining weight change your vocal?
We're getting to that one.
Oh,
It's on the list, baby.
It's there. Next one, we had two questions about this one. Sitting cross-legged could twist and warp your diaphragm so it doesn't help you sing or breathe. / crossing your legs can make it harder to breathe. These myths, again, if you're doing it properly with your body, then there will be no effect. Okay? But most people, maybe Ange can demonstrate this. Can you demonstrate how to sit cross-legged properly versus how most people sit cross-legged?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
It's whether Amanda was talking about how if you have a weakness in your body, like if you're standing like this, you're putting more weight on a leg. Something has to do more work. It's the same thing when you're sitting cross-legged. So if you're sitting and your bum's up, you see a lot of people sit like that, right? Everyone do that right now. And have one bum up. Now, where do you feel the tension start? To make up for that bum not
Lower
coming
back.
up? Lower back? Yeah, I feel it in the middle of my back, which is a place that I've always held tension. I don't know, you might feel it somewhere else. I feel this.
I feel it in my hamstring, in this hamstring.
Yeah, so now put that down and feel them settle. As long as you are actually supporting your body with your pelvis, it's a whole other ball game, right? So it's one of those how you do it and how your body reacts things.
I think
as opposed to
the other thing too, when you sit on the floor cross-legged, I'll do this from the side. If I sit cross-legged like this, what does my spine do? My spine is a C, and I'm actually sitting on my tailbone. If I sit cross-legged properly and I sit on my sit bones, how is my spine now? So it's paying attention to how you're actually sitting in a chair, on the floor, whatever. As long as you're sitting on your sits bones, nothing in here is affected
Yeah.
because everything is lined up properly.
Yeah.
But as soon as you sit improperly
Yeah.
and you get this slouch and you're in math class, then
Yeah.
yeah. As long as you're doing it healthily and
Efficiently.
properly and efficiently,
It's kind of the undertone to everything.
The word of the day.
it's the word of the day.
Efficiency.
Next one, wearing heels makes it harder to sing. Heels can affect your balance, right? Because you're no longer square to the floor. You are on your tiptoes and you have a hard time balancing, right? The other thing that heels do is when you lean forward on your tiptoes, they lock your knees, which causes our pelvis to jut out and we lose the curve in our spine and we lose the looseness in our hips. So we have a hard time breathing properly and thus a hard time singing properly. However, there are people out there who swear that they have no problem singing in heels and will do it forever and ever and ever. And maybe they've found ways to compensate for those stiffness, for the stiffness that's caused by wearing heels. So, again, depends on the person, but in general, it locks a lot of things up, and for the most part, you won't be able to sing the same way that you sing flat-footed.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Is always remember that when you perform, or when you practice, you want to practice the way you're going to perform. So if you always, I practice in bare feet a lot, right? At home, hanging out and practicing bare feet. If I throw on a pair of heels and walk out on stage, I'm in a completely different world than when I practiced, right? So always, if you do want to try and choose that, remember to practice it first. So.
Yeah. Here we go with the other one. We had one submitted that said, fat people sing jazz and spiritual better than thin people. And the other myth that we had thought of was that small women can't be successful singers because their vocal cords are smaller and their voice won't resonate. So there are a couple of myths. We've all heard it ain't over till the fat lady sings, right? That's probably where these myths are coming from. This has not been proven and it's probably not true, right? Like Kim was saying, it's all about, we're built to make noise, right? Like that baby again, right? The baby can scream and scream for hours and hours and hours, never get tired.
Which one are you talking about, sorry, right now? The small women or the big women?
Oh, both.
Oh, you're talking about size in
Size.
general.
Size
Okay.
in general probably doesn't matter because our bodies are all built differently, but they are built to make noise and a lot of it. And babies prove that, right? So, while there might be stereotypes that, you know, the Wagnerian tenors are bigger guys and the light Baroque sopranos are smaller women, that's not necessarily true across the board because there are exceptions. Okay, so busted! It doesn't matter how big or small you are, you can sing. What's next?
I have a myth to add.
Yeah.
Is it too late to add a myth?
No, go for
I
it.
have to look up. I want to know about, like I'm wondering, no, never mind. No, never mind.
Okay.
Our
friend
figured it out.
Was your myth addressing weight loss or gain? Is that what you're thinking about? Does gaining weight or losing weight affect the voice?
Yeah.
Definitely. But that has more to do with
Health and fitness.
with health and fitness,
Yeah.
and also just as the body has to, because your whole alignment and everything has to adjust to the different size you are. So and often just in terms of your metabolism, particularly for women or anyone who has been larger and then loses a fair amount of weight, it's sort of a shock to the system. So your all your muscles and your joints and everything need to adjust to that new size. So it's more of a total physical thing than anything.
But you're always going to sing better when you're physically fit.
Yeah.
And in good shape and healthy.
Question?
A myth that I've heard a lot is that drinking olive oil helps your voice.
We're getting to that one. I had never heard that until today. We're getting there. I've been texting back and forth with the Glee Choir today too. They wanted to be here today and had to be in rehearsal, which sucks, but whatever. But they sent in 2 myths. The first one was, is laughing bad for your voice? I couldn't find scientific proof one way or another. However, just like any other function that our bodies are built to do naturally, laughing is a natural thing. It relieves stress. It's good for everything. Laughing is really, really good for your body. You're built to do it. And so by doing it, and doing it properly, you shouldn't get hurt. But like Amanda was demonstrating before, we all know the gunshot laugh from the back of the classroom, right? Ah, that's not good. That's not a supported, healthy laugh. Okay? The second one we had was, is helium bad for my voice? Helium. This is a totally another thing, all in of itself. Helium, here's my scientific explanation. Helium is a gas, just like oxygen or carbon dioxide. And helium gas affects the way that the sound moves, okay? So the molecule mass of helium is 7 times less dense than the air that we breathe in. So it's much, much lighter, which is why helium balloons float. So sound waves move more slowly through regular air than they do through helium. And just like a vibration on a violin string, when our vocal folds vibrate, the vibration frequency depends on the surrounding gas. This has all to do with physics. It's not really a voice question. It depends on the surrounding gas, at how quickly those vocal waves are going to carry, right? The sound waves. And since the helium is thinner than the surrounding air, the sound waves, and thus the quality and timbre, the pitch of the voice, sound is higher because it's vibrating faster. It's traveling through the air faster, okay? So, in general, helium, when we hear a helium voice, it's not the voice that's being affected, it's what we're actually hearing. However, we need to consider that when you breathe in helium from a helium balloon, you are taking a foreign substance into your body, just like you would smoking a cigarette or drugs or whatever. You're taking a substance into your body, and you need to recognize that. Okay?
In moderation.
In moderation. What else? Amanda touched on, there was a question about heartburn and indigestion can cause a sore throat and affect your voice. Amanda talked about reflux, and so we all understand about that now. Another myth was singers get more hiccups than regular people, but because singers are not regular people. I like that wording. But they never get hiccups while singing. There's no scientific research done on this, but in general, if a diaphragm is relaxed, then it won't spasm. We don't really know if hiccups are triggered by nerves, like nerve things sent by our brain, that our brain is perceiving something wrong, or if the diaphragm on its own spasms, just like a muscle spasm. We don't know. So this can't be proved one way or another, but I'd never heard that one before, so thank you for the myth.
But hiccups are vocally abusive.
Mm-hmm.
As we're doing it.
Yeah.
The air pressure from underneath squeezes your throat together and makes that sound happening. So if you do them a lot, it could cause problems.
Yes.
Hiccups are caused because one of your organs displaced itself while you're breathing, and that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to get it back up.
Did it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's another one. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was all over the internet and I found all different reasons for why we hiccup. That was one of them too. But now scientists are wondering if it's a brain thing, that our brain senses that something is wrong, that we need to expel extra carbon dioxide, all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. Maybe you know the newest research. I don't know.